Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 75 of Hangout with Coach Kerry. Wow, I can't believe I'm actually at 75 episodes. And if this is the first episode that you've watched, please go back and check out all the others that I have. There's a lot of great new strategies and tips and ideas to help you. Because I suspect you are an entrepreneur, maybe even a solo entrepreneur working by yourself, maybe even part-time, and you're struggling with trying to figure out what you need to do in order to be successful, to maybe not be so overwhelmed, to maybe sleep better at night, to maybe actually make more money, have more fun. Any of those things, if those resonate with you, then you are at the right place. And certainly on my website, HangOutWithCoachKerry.com, as you'll see just below, and Kerry spelled Kerry, you will see that there's lots of great material there for you. And please make sure that you subscribe to get my updates. And as a bonus, you'll immediately get my book, How to Get Out of Overwhelm and Accelerate Your Business Now. That ebook there, you can get it for free, and hopefully it'll help you out. So today I'm really excited to talk about a topic that I've heard, well, I've been a coach now for 18 years. And honestly, I would say that almost every single year, 3 or 4 of my clients will ask me this question. And it is, how much should I charge for my services? Maybe even my product, but more often it's service-based people that ask me that question. And what I want to say to you is actually I'm going to suggest, and I always suggest to them, my one-on-one clients, is that really that's the wrong question. And what I mean by that is a better question is, what do I need to make? How much money do I need to have coming in? What do I want my cash flow to look like? Because honestly, that's the starting point. For those of you who are readers of any of Stephen Covey's books, he always talks about starting with the end in mind. And that's exactly where you need to start. You need to start with, what do I need? Because I suspect you went into business because you have a gift, you have a skill, you have a passion about something that you want to be able to help the world. And at a certain point, if you are not making enough money, you are going to stop enjoying what you're doing. You're going to find it a struggle. You're going to be exasperated. That conversation in your head is going to be something like, you know, should I get a real job, or should I go back full time, or should I give up, or what do I need to do? So the most important question is, where do you want to start? You know, or actually, where do you want to end? And that's your starting point, first of all. So that question again, you know, what should I charge, really starts with the bigger picture, which is what I'm going to call your vision for your business. Because you have to be clear with where you want to go, what end result you want in your business. And part of that end result is how much money you want to make. Now, yes, I know for some of you, the whole talk about money is kind of an icky thing. And you may be thinking, well, if I just do a really good job, then I'll just get paid well for it. Well, the fact of the matter is that's not the case. And that isn't going to happen. Because if nobody knows about you and you're not providing something different than everyone else out in the marketplace, the path to your door is going to be overgrown with weeds, so to speak. So you have to start with that vision. Where do you want to be? Not necessarily when you finish, but at least a good idea of where you're going. And part of that is how much money that you need to make to be able to do the work that you want to do. You know, when you're struggling with financial concerns, you aren't able to spend the money to market your business. You're not able to spend the money with ease to have support. So you're trying to do everything yourself, and that's going to limit what you actually can do in terms of marketing your business. And again, if you have no funds or no budget to be able to spend money on marketing your business, you're going to be restricted to how many people you can actually help. So actually, putting a goal in mind, setting that vision in terms of how much money you actually want to make will allow you to touch more people, to be able to do the work that you do in the world. And that's a really important piece. And I want you to make sure that you focus on that. So why aren't you charging enough? It's because you haven't figured out, A, what it is that you actually need in a clear picture of what you need. And then you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. And these are 4 key questions that are part of really creating any strategic plan. And if you've been watching me a lot, you know I am a fan of the whole notion of strategic plans. And again, even for a business, if you are a solo entrepreneur working part-time in your business, you need to have a plan so that you know what you're doing and where you're going. So you need to ask yourself these 4 simple questions. And this is going to help you come to a place where you're going to understand more about what the value of your services are. So the first question is, who is your ideal client? Now, you may have listened to other episodes when I talk about this, but this is where I want to remind you to be very specific about that. You want to create your avatar for your client. You want to be able to describe them really clearly. So if you're saying it's a range of women between the age of 30 to 50, that's too broad. You need to have the psychographics, the demographics, maybe even geographics. You have to have a common problem that they have. So in fact, you might be able to identify who that person is and even know someone who might be that ideal person. So you want to get really, really specific on that. And for some of you, your ideal client may actually be 2 different people. For example, if a service you provide to organizations, well, first of all, you've got a contact at that organization, but then if the end user of your service is the person who works within that organization, then you have actually 2 people, 2 different people. One is the people who are buying those services for their organization, and then there's actually the consumer of those services. So you want to be thinking about that as well, because some of you may have a business model where in fact you are dealing with larger organizations who might buy your services. You may do corporate training. You may be working within the healthcare field, something like that, going into organizations. So think about that really clearly and spend some time with this. Don't just gloss over and immediately say, oh, I think this is who it is. I want you to really think deeply about it. Then the second question, so question 2, is what do they want? And this is where you want to talk about not just the what I'm going to call long-term benefits of what product or service that you might provide, but I want you to think about, is there a particular challenge or a problem right now that what you offer will provide a solution for that? But I want you to also talk from their perspective. I want you to think about egoically, what's important for them? What are those maybe even higher aspirations that they have? So you want to be thinking about not just that people want to lose weight, because actually weight is really just one piece of it. But what is it? They want to be able to go and run with their grandkids, or they want to be able to go ride a bike, or they want to be able to do things socially they're not able to do. So you want to really dissect that. What do they want? And become really, really clear on that. Then number 2 is, or so this way, number 3 is, what do you want? So that goes back to the question that you want. So what kind of ideal client do you want? What do you want their behaviors to be like? What do you want their attitudes to be like? Do you want them to be similar in terms of your values? Do you want them to be people that you would, if you were dealing with them one-on-one, that maybe they might become friends of yours? So you want to be really specific in that. And also understand that this is where you articulate what kind of business you want. Do you want to be working always one-to-one with people? Do you want one-to-many? What kind of money do you want to make? Do you want to work Monday to Fridays? Do you want to work evenings? Do you want to be able to travel for your business? I want you to get really clear on that as well. So question number 1 is, who is your avatar? Who is your ideal client? And it may not be at first blush who it is. So this is where I want you to think deeply about that. Number 2 is, what do they want? What are those higher aspirations? What are those problems that need solving? I want you to really, really dig deep in that. What do they want their experience to be like even? Number 3 is, what do you want? Be really clear what you want when a year, 2 years down the road, if I were to arrive on your doorstep and ask you, did you achieve it? I want you to articulate it that clearly so you know exactly what it is that you want. And then here's the 4th really clear question that I want you to answer. Is there a match? You know, sometimes we get so caught up in being passionate about our business and who we know needs our product or service that we don't ever step back and say, are they actually going to be able to provide me with what I want? Because in order for a business to be successful, there actually has to be a match between the two. And sometimes this is a hard pill to swallow for us, because we get going down a road, we get marketing an idea, we are out there in the community, we've declared what it is our business is going to be. But when we do this work and we actually look at those questions, sometimes we aren't happy with the answers to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to really think about that piece about the match. That's a really, really key piece. Because then if the answer is yes, there's a match, then you have the basis on which to actually build your strategy. So this is part of the planning piece that, again, even if you are part-time working off your kitchen table, you need to be thinking about that, because your time away from your family, your friends, other activities and things you like to do is really valuable. And I want you to be doing it strategically. I want you to be really clear that that is what people want. Now, the other reason, and I promised you today that you'll be able to change things immediately and be able to charge more. So the first thing is, remember, going back to the initial question, which should be, what do you need to make? And so then the question really is, if you're clear there's a match, then what's your business model going to be that's going to allow you to be able to charge a price point for what you do that isn't necessarily a commodity? Too often I see entrepreneurs making a decision what they're going to charge based on what other people in their marketplace are charging. Now, yes, you do need to do some market analysis. You need to do what I call a SWOT analysis. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and trends. So you want to be able to know what's out there in the marketplace. But if people are just shopping for you as a commodity over something else, then they're not going to develop the loyalty. It's the same thing that if you're out and all you're doing is shopping for something based on price. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at what you offer and how it can be different, how it can set you apart. How can you be the go-to person in your marketplace for that? Because there is a reason why people buy luxury brands versus budget brands. Because they're attracting the people who actually want a luxury brand or a boutique brand, or they want more service. They want extra things. And so this goes back to those 4 questions again, because you want to look at your client who's actually going to pay you what you need to make based on what your business model is. So if you're spending most of your time one-to-one, as you know, you're only ever trading time for money. So what I'm going to suggest you do is you look at opportunities in your business model that maybe you can be working one-to-many and get some leverage for that. And be really careful of that mindset, which is, well, if I charge them this to work one-to-one, then if I've got 8 people in this group program or whatever, then I should only charge, an eighth of that. No, this is where you're going to get some leverage. This is where your brilliance, your gifts, your passion, your skills that you're going to give out to the marketplace, you're going to be able to impact more people if you do it. And again, you want to be able to do it because you're getting paid well for what you do. So really look at that business model that you've got and ask yourself, is there a way that I can add more to what I do? How can I set myself apart? How can I market myself? If everyone's going one direction, how can you go a different direction and be perceived of being different, and then you can charge more for what you do? And by providing more service. What value add can you add to what you do that doesn't actually take more time on your part, but can provide greater service for those people? And in fact, then they're going to pay more for what it is you do. And then the last thing I want you to take a look at is that belief system you've got. That really every single time you go to price something, there's a little voice that shows up here that says, oh, I can't charge that, or I'm not worth it, or value's not there, or whatever that language might be. So what I'm going to say to you is that, your thoughts become your feelings, and your feelings become your actions. This is all law of attraction. And your actions, of course, will determine your results. So when you're going through those strategy questions, I want you to be aware of what's the conversation that's going on in your head. Are you feeling any resistance to looking at your pricing and maybe adding 50% more in the marketplace? Why not? And if you find you have that resistance, then what you want to do is you want to unpack some of those beliefs you've got. And then maybe do some work to dispute and then discard those beliefs that aren't serving you. So again, if your constant conversation is, well, I don't know if I provide any value, and a lot of the conversation that often a lot of us have had, and full transparency, I've had that too for myself. So what I've had to do is go out and I've looked at other people and said, okay, well, look at what they're doing. Look how they're positioning themselves and look at what they're charging. Wow. Well, why can't I do that? Well, the question is, so I create some evidence to help me dispute that little voice in my head that wants to keep me small, that wants to hold me back. So you want to take a look at, are there any beliefs there that are going to hold me back? And they're going to show up in resistance. They're going to show up in what I call the yes buts. And you're going to really take a look at those and shine some light on them, because only when you're aware of those pieces that hold you back are you really going to move forward. And then what I would say, act as if you have all those things in place. Act as if you believe you can do it. Again, as Napoleon Hill said, either is it you believe it when you see it, or you'll see it when you believe it. Well, of course, you'll see it when you believe it. Haha. So what you have to do, what you have to do is you have to act first, and then you will see it. So you are not going to be able to see evidence, first of all, that what you're going to do is going to be absolutely guaranteed. But then you're an entrepreneur. Where are their guarantees? So again, this is where you want to focus on, okay, first of all, you have to believe it first, and then you will see it. So you have to act as if you believe it, because then you'll start creating evidence to prove that right. So I promise that immediately you'll be able to make some changes today, and I'm going to challenge you all this week to look at what you're offering and up your pricing. And up what you provide for the clients as well. Do some work on your strategic plan. And then at the end of the day, you're going to feel confident in terms of what your price point is. So you're going to start with what the real question is, what do you need to make? So you're going to ask yourself those 4 questions. And these are part of creating a strategic plan, as I mentioned. And then what you're going to do is you are going to take a look at, who is your ideal client? What do they want? What do they need? What do you want? What do you need? And then there's a match. So those 4 questions, you're going to take a look at what else you can provide to the marketplace to provide that extra value, that value added. Set yourself apart from the competition. If everyone's going one way, you go the other direction. Become that boutique where you can charge a lot more for what you do because of what you provide. And then you want to take a look at any resistance you have to doing any of that. It's time to unpack some of those beliefs you've got. Those beliefs that don't support you, and act as if, because remember, belief comes before seeing it. So you've got to act as if, and you will start creating some evidence, and it will shore up that belief that you've got. So I just want to encourage all of you to continue to watch my episodes. Remember, to go to my website, and also sign up for my my ebook, because you're going to get notifications of upcoming episodes. Also, some special programs I've got. In fact, in the fall, I'm going to be launching my strategy map program, which is a way where I can walk you through how to create a strategic plan. And it's designed specifically for you, the solo entrepreneur. So please do go to my website, do it now. Please share these videos with other people that you have in your tribe. And if you think that the information is valuable, and please go to my website and comment on any of the videos as well. I'd love to hear your tips and strategies. And in fact, in my blog this very week, I asked you to tell me what it is you would like my episodes to cover. So please go to my blog on my website. You'll see my most recent blog asking you what it is that you'd like to hear from me. So until next time, everyone, have an inspired week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.